Greetings everyone and welcome back to Humankind and to the verdant wonderland that is the city of Darth Raptor. A recent conquest from the territory itself is spoils of war, but the city, I suppose, we did found ourselves, though at that point the district that we founded it on was already fairly heavily integrated with Fitz's culture. The Huns at the moment. As a consequence, we've actually been getting some really good osmosis events from nearby, something I hope will continue for some time. Right now, we are currently researching irrigation. This is going to be a huge improvement for us because, as you can tell, both of our cities and a lot of the districts connected to our cities they've got rivers running all the way through them. This is going to really, really help with our pop growth, and with more pops come all sorts of things. More pops lead directly to more influence. More pops also help with faith, because obviously if these areas are predominantly of our faith, then those pops in turn will be of our faith, which adds a little bit of additional religious pressure pushing out. But with two cities, we are now on even footing, more or less, with our two neighbors. Shen is growing rather quickly, something I'm a little bit concerned about, and we may be looking into that in the near future. However, we can already connect more regions up with our cities, but I think we're going to be holding off on that for the time being. I would very much like to get a wonder if we're able. Now we're going to have a quick peek down here, or we will in time, to have a little glance at what's going on down there. How is Manu doing? Manu is currently working on a harbour, and following that, Manu will probably be working on a couple of other things. House of Scribes, +1 science per researcher and +2 researcher spots. We're not really focused on research at present, but as our population continues to grow, and it is growing very nicely, we've only got one more industry job available. You know what? I'm going to go into expert policy. I want industry first and foremost, followed by money, followed by science, followed by food. So hopefully we will expand these out. So we've got 2 more pops to add to our cash, and then we're going to start filling out the science positions, and that's going to be quite an important one, I feel. Quite an important one indeed. We do also have the market quarter, which will add +3 money and +1 money per adjacent market quarter, but as I've mentioned, we will have +3 money on the harbour per adjacent market quarter as well. This is going to be incredibly valuable in time. It will take us time to get to that point, but still, it's something that we can start working on right away, and hopefully we'll be able to expand out. But for the time being, I do feel a little bit of a pull to get a couple more archers and indeed some warriors out. I know, we're building up the population here, and all I'm going to do is use it to make some more military, but I feel that it's important to continue to get military, not least because Manu is currently trending down in stability, something I want to try and improve by having a military presence there. We're doing a lot better over here in Darth Raptor. They're riding high at the moment, so I'm actually quite happy with that. Expert policy here, though, I think we're going to go with science and then money. We definitely need to start bringing that science in. Maybe... No, I do like having industry because it allows us to build more buildings, ultimately. But let's actually try to focus on science first. Let's fill that out. We've got 32 science income here. We are slipping ever more behind the tech race, I feel.
The fact that they have horses and siege engines might indicate their preferences as a neighbour.
The Assyrians have fallen. Well, the whole preference as a neighbour thing kind of doesn't matter anymore, does it? I literally found out about them because they died. A brilliant civilization fell into ashes. Will it be remembered at the end? Who can say? Now, there are certain conditions with civilizations falling, especially in the early game, where you'll be given a new unit, especially in the Neolithic. If you get wiped out in the Neolithic, typically you'll be just spawned some more units randomly. You're going to suffer as a consequence of it because you'll have to start from the beginning again, I believe, or something along those lines. But still, it's not game over early game, but as you start moving through the eras, that buffer against defeat goes away. Right, what we got here in the osmosis event, minor technological breakthrough, ideological proximity gives us a boost. Well, I would like that very much. Irrigation research, that's fantastic. Absolutely marvellous. Okay, well, given that then, first and indeed foremost, with irrigation we've got a couple of things. Firstly, we've got flood irrigation. This is going to give us +2 food on a river. As you can imagine, that's going to be a big help for us. We've also got the granary, which gives us +2 food for farmers and 1 extra farmer slot. Not something that we're going to be looking into for a little while. Granted, taking it right now would give us 10 food per farm, which might help, but it's not really something we need to work on just yet. How many farmers' quarters do we have down here? Not really that many, all things said and done, so I'm not going to worry about this one either. But what we will do is we will be getting the flood irrigation. That will actually move up a little bit, I feel. As for over here with Manu, we are definitely going to be pushing this one in early because this is going to massively help. I wonder how much it would cost. It would cost quite a lot, actually. So we'll wait on that one. But the stability enhancement of this district will then be next in queue. By then, we're probably going to have quite a lot of population that we can spare here, so that shouldn't be too bad. All right, next turn. All right, what can we see down here? Not a lot, but we can, thanks to the shape of this territory, get quite deep into this little nook over here and properly spy what they're up to. Right, end turn.
You have built a first harbour to
Hooray!
construct and launch the vessels of the Empire. Time to stock up on champagne bottles.
Well, I mean, yes, because we'll be christening ships, but did you know champagne existed because of sea trade of wine? The wine casks were shipped, and the rocking motion, or at least from what I understand, do correct me if I'm wrong about this, but from what I understand, champagne was basically discovered because the constant rocking of particularly rough waters caused the wine to go through a second stage of fermentation, which then made champagne. More you know, I suppose. A new wonder can be claimed. Each of these distinguished monuments can be a testament to humankind's power and ingenuity for millennia to come. I agree, and we shall be taking it. There we go. This is the only one that's available. I shall claim it. It is now mine. Thank you. Right, osmosis event again. Let's have a look at you. It's another small boost, but I am happy to take these small boosts while they're going. The Harappans forgave a grievance, oppressing the faithful. That's very kind of you. Very, very kind of you indeed.
Yes.
Ah, man, why are you acting so mean? Like, you're apparently protective, and I can't imagine you. See, now you're looking all nice. You're confusing me, Shen. I don't know whether I'm coming or going with you right now, my lord. Right, now, based on our peace, because we're in an alliance, there is very little chance of us wanting to be at war. So that's going to decline very aggressively. The large number of farming districts has led to a blossoming of knowledge of plants for health. The priests of nature. For health, sustenance and medicine. With the Empire at peace and stable enough to support such a move, never before has there been a better time to make official the status of your most learned brothers and sisters. Do you wish to found such a caste? Reject. We should use this time of peace and plenty to instead focus on better trained armies. We'll get ferocious +1 strength for 10 turns. If it was +10 strength, then I might actually take it. Organized ranks allied with a pitiless ferocity means this unit fights with an effectiveness beyond its raw numbers. Establish. It seems prudent to have wise men and women who know crops amongst our population. Bountiful on 2 cities, basically all of my cities. +10 food for 10 turns, that's no small bonus. And school. Not only should such a caste be established, as Celts, our priority should be spreading their wisdom. Learning on 2 cities. Ooh. From school classroom to coffee houses. What? Coffee house? Never. How dare. Heresy. The city is abuzz with the joy of creativity, learning and rationality. I might have gone for that one, frankly, but no. My goodness. How dare. Alright, let's have a peek what's going on down here, if we can, in fact, get in there. Yeah, we can.
Come over here.
It would be very nice to get that a little bit closer. Taking this city would not be easy with a fortification of 30. Well, actually, that being said, it's just basic walls, I suppose. Though, I'm already considering going to war again. Probably wise for us to pop down... There we are, infrastructure. Make sure we've got walls over here. Let's just have that on the go, shall we? I think it's probably prudent. Alright, we'll be finished with the new grove there very soon indeed. We're already working on getting some more water here, which is grand. We've got a harbour. I think it behooves us to get ourselves... Well, honestly, a fishing would be nice, but we'll get these military units first. But do we have any ships yet? No, we don't. We haven't done sailing. We've got harbours. We just don't know how to use them yet. Okay, fair enough. I suppose that's fair. Oh, look at that. How beautiful is that, though? Population gain in Manu. Another osmosis event. Basically, at this point, there's no particular tech that our neighbours have that we don't. So we're just getting blanket boosts.
Debate and discussion are not the pastimes of the idle, but the actions of thinkers and movers who will touch every aspect of civilization.
Indeed. We can now build a school, which gives us better science on research quarters. And +2 science on research... Oh, 1 science on research quarters per adjacent research quarter. And +2 science on research quarters all out. Which means that they would have a +5 naturally. And then an extra 2 per nearby research quarter. And also they give research jobs. We can now use erudite administrator. A master of philosophy, this administrator can bring any city to order with their command of logic and rhetoric. Okay, so we've got an extra city position. Not super looking to use that, I'm going to be honest with you. But very well. That was a good osmosis event, certainly. We are already working on the next tech. Or are we not? No, we are not. Okay, very well. Let's have a look at where we want to go. I think sailing probably makes the most sense here. That being said, an aqueduct, a watermill, or an artificial reservoir, getting even more food off rivers is kind of bonkers. Now, there's a few things to be aware of here. These are not the same as just boats in many games in this genre. This is an actual boat unit we can build, and it can go out there, and it can fight, so on and so forth. This, however, is a transport. This is the boat that our units will get into if they embark. It's a boat in its own right. They can't just, swim really hard, especially with horses, just traversing small bits of the ocean. No, they need a boat. They don't go on a raft either. Whatever technology you have, certain technologies will unlock better transport vessels. And those are what you will be embarking on in the future. These vessels are not necessarily pushovers. This is still an 8-strength vessel. I mean, against the 22, it's not great. But if you've got a small army, like 4 people against a single boat, each one of them doing 8, I mean, you still don't really want to get into a fight, but they're enough there to cause some trouble for your enemies. Military camps, that would actually not be too bad. Bronze working, is there really any significant benefit here? Yes, there is. We're going to grab bronze working. Following that, I'm tempted to grab iron working and get our emblematic unit. I feel that would be a strong move. The fishmonger would give us a little bit more extra money. Right now, we're not able to make use of our harbors, so it's preparing for the next war or preparing for exploring. I'm going to lean towards preparing for the next war because I feel it's not that far away, sadly. I wish it was a little further away than it likely is, but we'll see how it goes. Right, okay, so with that, let's have you slide on in there. Sadly, we can't really get much of a view of what's going on here. Okay, well, we're going to sidle on down and be ready to launch an attack when we have the opportunity. Next, I think we're going to just see if we can't rush through some buildings. We don't need to rush that one through. We don't need to do anything on Arneb. There we go. Okay, it's going to take us a little while. We don't need to rush to build this wonder. Obviously, getting it sooner rather than later will be a big help. I feel that this is likely going to affect all cities, but I'm not 100% on that because it just says on city or outpost. As if where I build it, it would just give an extra signs there. So I kind of feel that this would make more sense to build down here. Now, normally you'd be like, well, that's just dumb though, because you're not producing that much industry there. But this is a shared project. Every city in my empire can dedicate its industry towards this joint project. And that is a big, big help. Obviously, the plus 20 stability would be just absolutely heavenly, but it is what it is, I guess. All right, let's end the turn and see how things go.
Harness the power of water itself in order to feed your people. That should make you popular.
Hopefully. Forged in fire crucible, bronze is stronger and more durable than copper and transforms tools, weapons, and armor. Hooray. Let's have a look at our new osmosis event. Another bonus. It knocked off 3 turns. That's certainly good to see. Also, our religion is expanding. We need one more population to work with that. Manu is growing fantastically well. Another growth in 1 turn. This is really, really very nice right now. It's going to take us 2 turns to get the public fountain, which is going to give us plus 15 stability. It's not perfect, but it's certainly not something that I'm going to turn my nose up at. We will add this in as well. Let's get that copper flowing into the Empire. It's a little bit more copper, I guess. How long would that take? Very little time. We'll actually just rush that one through. There we go. That will help out in a fairly big way, actually. Shen will be able to access that one as well. I'm sure he'll be pleased with that. We are, in my opinion, it's probably time for us to start popping down a couple of extra districts to help over here. It is a shame that we weren't able to get the pyramid down there. That would have been an amazing district to have. But, oh well. It's fine. Resource sold. Yeah, access to copper immediately bought by Shen. Every resource that we trade makes us a little bit less likely to have to worry about Shen turning on us. There's always a risk. Always a risk. And at this point, Darth Raptor, I feel, could also absorb one of the districts nearby. To evolve the city would be quite expensive, but if we had a look at joining it to Darth Raptor, it would be 180 there. We can definitely make that happen. How much are we getting here? This population is in flux constantly as well. It's not a huge amount of food, but it is a decent bit. Over here, it is mostly industry, and that's why this population has barely grown. Still, having that industry attached to the city might be a good move. Once we attach this, Darth Raptor will have 2 territories connected to it. And Manu already has 2. I feel that we could share them evenly. And given that, connecting this territory would give Darth Raptor a bit of extra building power that it doesn't yet benefit from. I think that might be a stronger pull. That said, though, well, actually, if Manu connected up here, we would have so much food in Manu. But Manu is really the one that is focusing on industry. So yeah, I probably will leave that one for Manu to connect to in time. For now, we just need to pass a couple of extra turns. Though, looking at this, it seems that we have a religious event. We've gained enough followers and can now enact a new tenet to enrich our religion. Well, Tide the Wealthy has already been grabbed. That's a shame, because again, that one makes having a war incredibly easy to do. Whether that's what you want or not is another matter entirely, but it is absolutely something you can do. +2 food on coastal waters, +2 food on lakes, eschew gluttony, +5 money on luxury resource deposits, or be in harmony with nature, +2 stability on rivers. That would give our 2 current cities enormous bonuses. Abstain from intoxicants. Forest and woodlands, extra industry. Let's have a quick look. So we don't have a lot. Well, actually, no, we do have a decent amount of mountain tiles. Got a couple over there as well. Having these to give us that extra bit of influence might not be bad. We've got all of these mountain tiles over here. I have not had the fortune of being in a position to tap into that kind of return previously, but this may in fact be well worth it. That influence will come in very handy down the line. That being said, having some extra food on coastal tiles, that would be very nice as well. +2 on coastal tiles and +2 food on lakes. In terms of the tiles that we're actually accessing from here, it's only 1 tile. I'm not sure if we're actually tapping into the vast majority of that. If we turn off these, then we should see exactly the tiles. There we go. So yeah, actually we'd get some extra food from these. We are going to be building some harbours along this area. We've got a little lake there that we could actually tap into if we wanted to. We will definitely be getting a harbour down here, so there may be something to be said about that. We won't... It's very unlikely we're going to be tapping into this lake. So, it really comes down to that. 1 extra faith on mountains. We're probably going to want to tap into the mountains for their massive industry eventually, regardless what else we do. But there's not a lot that we can do with ocean tiles, whereas that will give us something to play around with. I feel it's a difficult one, really. Of course, then we've got the industry on forest and woodland. Now, there's a lot of forest and woodland, and you can also build more forest, which is another big benefit there. Though our primary industry area doesn't really have many trees around it, so this is really the only big woodland that we've got available to us. But it would make it quite productive. After further consideration, I have actually decided to go for abstain from intoxicants. On second look through our territory, a lot of the areas that I was just overlooking as farms are actually lumber camps. So we do have quite a few forests and woodland that will be able to benefit from this. So we're going to go from abstain from intoxicants. Chew this, tenet. There we go. Perfect. Right, we have joined the Nubians' polytheism and Harappans' polytheism in Tier 1 religions. On to Tier 2. Hopefully, we'll see how that one goes. But this should have drastically improved the amount of return. And as you can see there, we're now getting quite a lot of return on investment from the forested areas. That's going to help us build the districts that we're going to need to build really, really tall with our cities. Okay, I'm reasonably happy with that change. We're slowly climbing up, but we are very much bang in the middle as far as our abilities go regarding the other civilizations. Right, at this point, I'm going to have you just station there for the time being. We don't need you to be doing too much work. We're not in war. On a population gain, it's going to be the case, I'm afraid. Right, we've got a couple of tenants that I can have a look at. Let's go and have a look. Are there any that I particularly want? I don't actually care for the city cap, but the plus 25% stability is starting to become a little bit more attractive. Minus 50% on outpost cost, or minus 20% on outpost cost to attach or absorb. Now this one is starting to look very attractive. I haven't really properly appreciated how useful that might be for a tall empire. No, we're going to go with this one. It is going to sadly move us away from having extra faith, but
Once you discover writing, you can literally throw the book at them.
I suppose that is a thing that we could do. Whether it is a thing that we want to do, however, is an entirely different matter, I feel. Nevertheless, it's 264 now, down from 300 odd. All right, not bad at all. This is only going to be 144. I think we can get there fairly quickly. This group is currently clearing the woodland here. Turns the woodland into dry grass, provides 40 extra utilities there, or rather industry. Saren's population has gained. Very nice. And another osmosis event. Let's see what we've got this time. Still minor breakthroughs, but happy to take it. Standing army research. A permanent army of full-time soldiers. Whether your empire is at war or at peace, allows a diversification of military classes and easier mobilization for war. There we go. With iron available for us to actually tap into now, this will give us swordsmen as well, though we won't be building swordsmen, although they're very slightly more powerful than the woad. We don't need iron for the woad, and they move faster, a lot faster, and have just better traits. Honestly, there'd be no reason for us to pick them at this stage. I could just tap into that for a little bit of cash, and considering it's going to be a relatively large amount of time before we can connect this up, I might want to do that. Yeah, I do actually want to do that. So let's go ahead, tap into that resource. There we are. I'm sure Shen will go straight for it. It makes the most sense. We are now close on the military star, relatively close on the builder star. Only one more district to build, and agrarian stars we're very, very close to, which is starting to look very nice. How are the others doing in terms of stars? Not great, actually. Shen is starting to lag behind a little bit. Okay, well, this may be an opportunity for us then, if I'm perfectly honest, and I'm quite happy with that. Right, let's grab a new bit of research. Now that we have the warrior, it's time for us to start considering where we're going next. Definitely some more food on river, and also some industry on river. We're really going to make use of the water that we have available to us. We'll also get access to the aqueduct, which will be quite nice. But then finally, we're going to be getting sailing. I think it's probably about time. There we are. The Builder Star has been earned. Access to our iron has been purchased by Shen. There we go. Very nice indeed. Where is it? It should have shown up. I mean, it is down here, but it usually glows on the one that you've just received. Strange that it didn't this time. But there we are. Very nice indeed. We've got agrarian stars. We're just around the corner for that. How fast is our population growing? In one turn here. In one turn over here as well. Look at this. This is brilliant. We're up to 11 pops now. This is starting to get really, really nice. We can also build a new holy site if we would like to. And I think I would. Where are we going to place it though? We've already got one down here, and it's in a beautiful spot. Now, one of the things I didn't do is I didn't showcase the fact that when you pick a new tenet, you can change the site, the holy site that you build. That is actually quite an important one. It's a bit silly that I didn't showcase that for you, but nevertheless, you can make changes to the appearance of the holy site as you go if you're thus inclined. Let's go ahead and put a holy site at the end of this road there. I think it would be lovely. There we are. It's going to take us a couple of turns. We can only rush this with people, but I'm not too eager for that. We'll rush that through on the next turn. Well, actually, no. We'll just get the stone circle up and running. Could I get Darth Raptor to help out in this? Hopefully, yes. Let's pop that one over there. There we go. It's going to be done in 3 turns. Again, as a shared project, both of my cities can work towards it. There we go. Now then, I would very much like you to connect Marfak. We're almost there. One more turn. That was a little bit premature, I suppose. There we go. Let's have a look. A schism in the heart. Followers of the Empire's religion continue to grow, but within the temples and holy places, tensions brew. Sadly, the blossoming interpretations of religious tenets is leading to schisms as worshippers place more or less importance on different rules. It speaks to a wider question of how other entire religions should be seen. Is religious harmony something to aspire to, or a question that shouldn't even be raised? Other faiths should be free to worship as they see fit. +5 influence on territories if territories follow state religion. Religious hostility. There is only one true religion. The rest spread falsehood. +5 faith on territories. Adds a new grievance against empires with a different state religion. Now that one's an interesting one because of a different... if a territory, or rather an empire, has a different religion to us, we can have a grievance that more or less just stays there until they change religion, which they might not unless you go to war. So it gives you a way to trigger a war. But getting this extra influence on areas where our religion is dominant is a pretty big influence spread. So I'm thinking that may well be worth our investment. Trade route destroyed. Violence has put an end to our selling of iron. Oh no. Oh dear. This is bad news bears. All of our trade routes just went down. That's usually a bad sign. Okay. That is a really bad sign. What just happened, Chen?
Say what you need to say.
You're still protective, which is good. But what on earth? We could go for a custom union. No, they don't feel like it, despite being protective.
I'm not interested. Not at all. No.
Well, fair enough.
Dying to see where this decision leads us.
It's funny you mentioned dying. Because I suspect that might be what happens. Nevertheless, I wonder what kind of violence triggered that. Have they gone to war?
If you want to be among those apocryphal winners that write history, you'll have to do better. Courage.
It's a little bit hard to be courageous when you keep reminding me of my failures. I'm just putting that out there. But they've definitely just had a spat with someone that has deleted one of the trade routes that we had. Worrisome. Very worrisome. Let's have a look over here. That is going to hit us hard. Really hard for now. Okay. Well, that is what it is. Right, well, the next turn, we at least finish this and we can start work on the next item. There we go. And as population has grown, civilization benefits from proximity to others. And access to our porcelain was purchased by the Harappans for 45. Alright, a little bit of a breakthrough there. Hydrology researched. Fantastic. The aqueduct is going to be very, very much necessary now. Okay. Well, let's have a quick gander and see how things are going. Can we trade again? We can.
You are so very needy.
Yeah. I mean, I want your stuff, so it is a requirement that I pay for it. There we go. And we will also purchase this. There we are. It was probably a C. They probably got raided on a certain tile at sea, since a lot of our trade routes go through it, and that causes a bit of a problem there. But that should be fine now. All right, how are we over here? We're more powerful than them. How much more powerful? I'm not sure, but hopefully very. Hopefully, they've gone for oppressing the faithful. So they've, well, actually, yeah, they've taken the civic, which offers that as a grievance. We'll need a little bit more than that. New grievance available. Annexed an independent city of Akkad that you were the patron of. I'll allow it to stand for now, because I don't want the city. I could take it, but I really don't want it. I am absolutely okay with them taking it. That being said, that is now going to be giving them an awful lot of extra oomph on the map. Religious conversion started. Nice. Very nice. We're starting to push down in that direction. Actually, there was another one as well, wasn't there? I mean, it says it's going to be converted in 3. Okay. So, okay, I misread that. I thought it was saying it would be converted. Yeah, it did say it would be converted to the Oak Brethren. Okay, I didn't misread it. The game is just drunk. 287 faith. Okay, their religion is going to start spreading through here rather rapidly, I fear. The flooded lands. An unrelenting deluge of rainfall lashes down upon the great city of Darth Raptor and the surrounding lands. If the rains don't stop soon, the banks of the great river that thread through the city will burst, flooding the adjacent quarters. With limited time and resources, the choice are stark. What do you do? We can gamble. Let's leave it to fate. Maybe the rains will cease. Adapt. Limited adaptation should mitigate the biggest risks, and the rains might relent in any case. There's a chance of bad consequences there. Or protect. An expensive dike around Darth Raptor will ensure the city is protected from the flood threats. Sure, we've got enough cash to pop that down. Let's make use of the money that we have to protect our interests. Right, Manu is getting a new unit there. We are going to go for extra food on rivers. We are also going to push for massive increase in stability and then follow with a water mill. That is going to hugely affect us because it's going to affect so many different parts of our empire all at once. I'm going to wait for the unit before we move forward. However, what are we going to do down here is the next question. We do have iron, so we might as well hit that. We are going to eventually need multiple iron mines. In the meanwhile, let's go ahead and attach. There we go. Very, very nice indeed. And that means as well that we can place down a new grove. Perfect. Let's get all of those queued up. With that, we're going to want extra industry and food from the rivers. I am going to need to get that through, actually, relatively soon, because stability is starting to drop pretty aggressively, actually. Oh. Aha! Finally! Sadly, we are upgrading them only to the swordsman, and not to our emblematic units. Extra sadness, but oh well. It is going to be useful ultimately. Oh, no. Oh. I didn't mean to tell you to leave. It's fine. Let's pass that turn. In fact, how about you just station there for the time being? That'll work out for me. Sailing researched. Very nice indeed. We can get the fishmonger. And we can get our first actual vessel out in the waters. We've sold some marble. Gave a grievance. Thank you very much. See, you're being nice and then acting rather dismissive. I am confused. Aavak is confused. We could get horsemen. I'm not really sure we need it. Night raids plus ransacking gains on army. Outpost assimilation. Minus 10% on attached outpost cost. That would be very good. That would be very good, actually. Holy Day, some extra faith. Plus 1 science per population. Nothing else, just straight up per population. That is very nice. Okay, we're going to grab rhetoric and we're going to grab conquest. And I think following that, it makes sense for us to go for siege tactics. Largely because we'll be able to increase our army size. So that's our next good while of research all stacked up there. Okay, Manu should be able to grow its population. It's already at 13 now. We're starting to push nice and hard based on the amount of influence we're generating from our population alone. Only a few turns needed to connect you at long last. Or Sarin. I think we'll go with Sarin first, though. As well, that being said, Sarin takes a long time to grow its population. 32 turns, whereas Arneb is just constantly in a state of flux, which does hurt a little bit. So I think we'll go for that one. I'm not exactly sure whether it would be better for me to use influence to build the to build my harbour or not. Like before we then settle in. It's a difficult one there. Let's get you absorbed again. There we are, thank you. There we are. Agrarian star. Very nice indeed. We are, if we get all of these stars, not only will we have all the stars we need to advance to the next era, but we'll have enough stars to, we'll also get an extra star, which would actually be quite nice. Oh dear. Okay, they actually want to change. Army composition. They want us to move to conscript for reduced industry cost. Now, we'll not spend influence in order to switch this over, but if we refuse, we'll get minus 50 stability. Which will be absolutely ruinous. I really don't want to go for that one. Oof, oh, that hurts. That really hurts. Okay, we're going to rush these through then. Let's get this next. 4 turns. We'll just have to keep pushing on that one. We're doing relatively well up here, though. Extra industry per tile. And extra money from our harbour. There we go. Slowly building things up over there. But I'm thinking that it is probably time that we start seriously considering putting together another army for an attack on Fitz. If we can vassalize Fitz, then that is going to reduce the concerns that I have about Shen in a big way. Monarch's population is down. Religious conversion started. Unfortunate. 10 turns there. Well, I mean, it is going to happen. 331. Their faith is just growing crazy fast. Absolutely bonkers quickly. The flooded lands too. The Great Dyke was constructed in rapid time at your behest, and a provident choice it turned out to be. The deluge didn't relent, but despite the endless rains, Darth Raptor and its people and property remained safe, only suffering some wet and shivering skin. Better yet, the farmland became even more fertile in the rain's aftermath. Bountiful. Oh, very nice. Plus 15 food. Excellent. Human engine. The Empire has made impressive strides in becoming a building powerhouse, the envy of the world. Now, though, to maintain this momentum, you must ensure you have a reliable stream of workers who will work tirelessly on your great construction projects. From where should you find these thralls? Well, criminal slaves. Those who break our laws will become vassals for the Empire. +1 food and +1 industry on commons quarters. We don't even have commons quarters yet. Or the sons and daughters of the Empire's enemies will become our slaves. +1 bonus population per ransack. That's potent. But I don't think that's a question that we're going to answer for a little while. Not for a little while. Still, quite an important one. All right, population gain, thank you. Now, can we push this through? No. No, we can't. It's going to take us a little bit longer, sadly. Okay. Well, when that is done, we will look to start building some science quarters around this area, I think. We need to start bumping up our research speed. 1 turn over here on Manu, and then we'll begin working on some more items. If we have a look now, +7 food there. That's not even a district, that's just worked land. Same over here. Look at the amount of food we're bringing in. 14 on that tile. Manu is still growing at a crazy rate. Next turn, we're going to have all of the district support that we can have. And then the rest is just going to be extra faith, extra influence. I mean, that's not going to be a bad thing, certainly. But perhaps I should squeeze in a new district in the meanwhile. I think so. Let's aim to get down another district which will bring in a good bit of extra resources. We'll just pop that one there. It'll take us a couple of turns, but we're going to need that done. Yeah, that's going to take ages to get that one on the go. Alright. Worth us getting going, though. Population gain in Manu. Excellent. And now that population is gained, another one in one turn. Okay, we are now at a point where all of the people that we can fit into the city are in the city. Which is kind of bonkers when you think about it. But we also have room to attach a lot more. Arneb, at long last, you are joining us. Expansionist star has been earned. Happy is this day. There we go. We're starting to see the effect of building tall. Manu's big population is really beginning to push. Though, that being said, we're still in 4th position. We're certainly not snowballing. Not yet. Not yet. But 20 is a very nice number to have. And we're still producing plenty more food than we need. Well, actually, with 48, it's starting to slow a little bit. Let's have a look. We'll get this over there. And that position should be grand. We'll slide that one up as well. Just to make sure that gets done. Just in case, because at this rate, we might actually be moving into the next era reasonably soon. It would be nice to have first pick if we can get there. But that being said, Manu, after you've built that, I do want to get some troops out. Let's get a couple... Well, let's get 1 ship and 2 of our emblematic units. We'll add them into this group. There we are. Now end this turn. Another osmosis event. Okay. They want to move to autocrat. Plus 25 stability on the capital. I don't actually mind this one as much. Largely because I don't need another city for a while. So I'm going to allow that one. Yes, enact. I don't spend any influence on it, so it's fine. It's okay. That will mean that Manu is going to be good for stability for quite some time. It's going to be very hard to dislodge Manu now in that regard. Let's just slide that one up just to make sure that everything is in the right order. Got a decent bit of cash flowing into the coffers. We're about to add a little bit more iron on the go as well. But attaching this one to Manu now is going to be exorbitantly expensive. Oh, that would be painful. That will be painful. That being said, in a way, I don't want to ultra-specialize my areas so much so that I have no districts that are useful for making industry. And right now, I feel that maybe attaching Sarin to Darth Raptor would be the better choice. It'll be very expensive, mind you. But these 2 cities will become massive powerhouses at that point. We're producing 76 per turn now. We're almost at a merchant star. In fact, we're going to be there very, very shortly. Science star, we only need 1 more tech. 1 turn for that. Military star, again, you know, it's going to be a little while for that one, but we should get there. Manu is coming along. Rhetoric researched. As citizens congregate in public spaces, demagogues and others hone the art of persuasion, paving the way for more formalized instruction and entertainment. Excellent work. And the science star is earned. We're up to 1,365. We're still 4th position. Man, it takes a while to start catching up, doesn't it? Oh, my goodness. But we've got 2 new emblematic buildings to be built in fairly short order. And there we go. The merchant star has been earned. All right. Now, at this point, there is something to be said about just holding off and getting those final couple of stars. The agrarian star, we are growing our population at astonishing speeds. Basically 2 a turn, more or less. it's not going to take us long to get the second agrarian star, and that is a star that we're going to get extra fame for. We are crazy far ahead of the others, but there's no guarantee that they won't just get 3 stars in one go. We've managed to slide into 3rd position, though, which is actually quite nice. Building districts will be fairly easy for us. Expansion, that's going to be a bit harder. In fact, it's going to be very hard. But generally speaking, I'm fairly content that we can push for a couple of extra fame stars before we move on. And if I can attach this territory before I plonk down an emblematic building as well, though there's not a lot of food here to be certain, I could put it there and connect these 2 up. Or, well, I wouldn't be able to put it here, sadly. Not unless I build out this district first. Might be worth it, actually. Place down a farm here, maybe, and then place the emblematic building right there. That might actually work. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But let's have a look. The first calendar. The invention of the calendar heralded a glorious day in the Empire's history. Now, with 2 major cities and numerous farming affairs needing to be harmonized across the land, it is time to standardize this calendar. Traders may have an easy means of synchronizing their activity. Traders must have an easy means of synchronizing their activities. By what means do you wish to track the days? Solar, the learned assure you that this calendar will better stand the passing of the seasons. Or the lunar calendar. The waxing and waning of the moon is somewhat familiar and comforting to the people. I just like the moon more than the sun. We're going with the moon. There we go. And new era stars were earned. We're going to remind later on that one. We don't want to make a move just yet. But looking at the time, sadly, this is where we're going to have to wrap up today's episode. We are almost at the point that we can attach to Darth Raptor. In fact, we'll be there shockingly fast at this point. So we'll be doing that at the very beginning of next episode. Manu's doing well with building out its units, but it's got a ways to go with the soldiers. That being said, if we can maximize the amount of money that we can earn, that would be very, very nice indeed. Right now, we're actually having to put people into farms. We've got so many people, we've got nowhere else to put them for the jobs. We're now getting an extra population every 2 turns, though, which isn't really that grand. We are still getting an awful lot of pop down here in Darth Raptor, though, so that's going to work out well for us. I imagine we could hit another agrarian star before we proceed to the next age. If we can get there early, though, ahead of anyone else, and if we have stockpiled enough influence, we will have first pick of wonders. So that is something to look forward to, I think. But that is going to be it for us for today. I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you will be joining us in the next. But until then, and as always, I'll leave you with a view of one of our districts. Oh, sorry, one of our outposts and administrative centers, rather. And that's going to be it for us. So until next time, and as always, do take care, everyone.